Hello. Right. Is this working? That is the.
Is it?
That's the
Is
question.
it working? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I've had technical problems.
Microsoft decided to update. Can you guys hear us? I know there's been plenty of comments on there already. Right. Right.
No, it was technical. It wasn't alcohol related.
I wish it was alcohol related. That would have been that would have gone easier. All right. Right.
Yeah,
can
me
you guys
too.
right? So can you guys hear us all right? Because there is only 2 of us tonight, which should be interesting.
Just the 2.
Yeah, they can see. So I don't know. Should I just do what? Should I just say what? I'll just say. So welcome to the Plastic Crack podcast, and we're missing Ken, and we're missing Dom. So they've let the 2 people that they invited on here carry on for some reason. So if this all goes wrong, we can't be blamed on the grounds of diminished responsibility. So
Oh no.
So yeah, so you've got Steve from On Point HQ and Martin from Seventh Son. So hello everybody, and yeah, we'll go. We'll just get into it. We haven't really got a theme or anything, have we? So we just thought we.
No, not at the moment. We're gonna wing it. Let's just wing it.
Yeah, we'll see it, and if we just thought we'd open it up to questions. I know Leslie's got a. Hang on a second. Oh wow, there's already been loads of comments.
Oh sweet.
Right then. Let me just see if I can sort the volume out. I'm a little bit quiet. Turn that up. I think it's about as loud as it's going to go from mine until I get a better mic. Right. So
That's fun.
Right then. Where should we start? I'm just trying to think what Ken or Dom always say. Well, I do listen, but I just I can't think.
Who've we got? Who've we got in? Who's joined us tonight?
So of course we have Leslie. Hello, Leslie. And he says
Leslie.
It's around 25 degrees where he is. And has anyone sorted out a Napoleonic codex for Ken? We've been trying. There's been a lot of discussion in our chat about Napoleonics. I think his head might be about.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah.
I mean, the other day I was on the phone. When the message coming through, and when I came off the phone, there was 44 unread messages, and every single one was Napoleonic related. Awesome.
One for every man in the box. That's
yeah.
Yeah. I think he's sorted now. We've got Duncan FX. Hello.
Good.
Hey,
Duncan.
Hanger flying. I don't think I've seen you here before, mate. But hello. He said that he uses technical issues as excuse whenever he loses track of time on the bog. That's a good. Yeah. I just tend to be in there until my YouTube documentary finishes, and then I have to rejoin the world. We've got Bill Roy, Nick Gaines, Ewan and Aaron Lowe. Hello. And,
I do, chaps.
Culloden Paintings here. Wargamers Anonymous. Hello, mate. Hello, Phil. GP.
Hi, mate.
And apparently Haley. Cheers, Haley. And
all right.
And Terry Head. Hello. I don't think I've seen you before, but so yeah. Hello. We don't have any. Well, we've got one question to answer, which Leslie's already supplied us with because we didn't get around to answering it last week.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do that, why don't we start? Steve, what have you been up to over the last week?
Nothing but Napoleonics. It's become like an addiction. Do you know you ever done something where you find it mostly unpleasant, but you like the end result?
Yeah, I feel that way about some films, and then but just about to like the ending.
My analogy was going to be the Eurovision Song Contest, but it didn't quite work. That's just a nightmare all in itself. But no, back to painting. Yeah, I've been working through those Napoleonic line infantry, and I'm only 9 figures away from completing all the companies.
That's the original Perry box. Isn't it? Is that the 36-man box?
It is, yeah, the old one. It's it's got the 6 companies and 3 stands of 6 voltigeurs, so 2 on a base. It looks the one that Ken's been working on. You can tell the one he's been working on is the new one because the poses seem to be a bit more dynamic.
Yeah, I think you'd like that set. I think you'd see a lot of potential there with kit bashing. I think from his point of view, he feels that he started on the wrong set for someone who's getting into Napoleonics because all of the choice has slightly blown his mind. I think there was a definite point last week when we were on the chat where I think I saw him break a bit inside. I think it was actually when Leslie put up one of his comments about the uniforms, but yeah, there was definitely a point where something cracked. He's going to watch his back. He's out at a meal tonight, and Dom's on holiday, right. So unless his other half is all right with him just clicking onto YouTube while he's waiting for his dessert to come or something like that, I don't know if we'll hear from him. But I've got him coming up on Friday. He's coming over.
All right.
He's coming over for a day of games, but it's going to be two. We're going to try and get 2 games of Black Powder in.
I know he was really excited, and yeah, I know he was really excited about playing Black Powder.
Yeah, he is. I hope he likes it though, because that's a lot of excitement, and he's sat there painting those French. If he hates it, that's all going to have been. Well, I suppose he'll still have sharp practice.
I know. Yeah. I will admit, when after the stream last week, I went away and watched that Black Powder tutorial video that Rick Priestley did on the Warlord Games website.
Oh, the one in the shop.
And
oh, you still there, Steve? And this is why we were a little bit later joining. Right.
Yeah.
And great. It's just me. Come on, you're back. Oh no. Right. Well, while we're waiting for Steve.
Am I back?
Are you back? Hey. There we go.
I'm back now. Hey. I don't know what happened there.
It's good.
But yeah, we're saying that Warlord Games video for Black Powder.
Yeah.
Really, I find it really helpful, and it's really made me want to start playing Black Powder, and which is the last thing I need because I don't need another game series thing to be invested in. But yeah, it really
it's got you interested. Oh no, not again.
What?
Oh, you froze for a second.
Have I gone again?
No, you froze. You're all right though. You're back. You are back.
Right.
You're back.
Yeah, so it was weird just working on nothing but Napoleonics all week. Was but I know what when Ken said it's a bit of a when you first get into it, and like me, I mean I've got no real knowledge of the different troop types.
Yeah.
I was completely confused. I was confused by the whole thing. But once you get your head around the uniforms and how the different uniforms and how they fit into the overall company composition,
yeah,
it's sort of something clicks and it does get a lot easier. I'm just glad I've got to that point now.
There does seem to be a ping moment. I guess it also depends on how sort of detailed you want to go, because I think as we established last week when we were talking to Ken, I think he tried to basically go all in straight away, and I think that can put you off, to be honest, if you try it.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on what you're trying to do. With my painting, I try to represent a battalion rather than accurately recreate one. So I don't really care if there's a few colours that are off, but different people have different opinions.
I mean, the one I know when. Yeah, mine's nowhere near historically accurate, but from 3 feet away and over nice, pretty colours, so the whites and the reds and the blues, it looks rather funky. Actually, I'm actually quite proud of what I've got through.
Yeah, I've seen.
These were always something I dreaded painting, but as I get to each company, I get more and more confident, and I'm finding quicker ways of painting it. So I think it was just a confidence thing. It really was.
Yeah, well, no, that's cool. So now you can knock out a few more battalions, get those cavalry going. Get some. You didn't you say you were thinking of doing a cannon?
Yeah, that's next. Once these are done, I'm thinking of picking up that Victrix French cannon set. Although I did respond to Leslie on a comment last night and said that you and Dom won't be happy until I've at least attempted to paint some hussars.
Yeah, I just want to. It's not because I enjoy watching people be sad, but I just want to know it's not just me. It's kind of like those TV. It's like some of those reality TV shows where you watch like the complete like mental deterioration of people like locked in, like Big Brother or something. They're locked in a camera. And I think just watching someone paint hussars would be that. But then I don't know. You might fly. You might just think, oh no, this is great. Look at all this lace. What's been missing in my painting life is all this lace.
Oh, that lace.
Oh man. So
I can honestly say that when in all my bolt action painting, I've never had to paint lace before, so that should be a bit of an eye opener.
Yeah, it's they look wicked when they're done, and there's a big sigh of relief. But if you, well, I did a Napoleonic showcase video during the week, which was my French.
Oh, yeah, I need to watch that.
All my French now, so I'm going to do the British one. And I think there's only, oh no, I do have 2 units of cavalry, but it was a good year and a half between me painting another unit of British cavalry after I did the hussars. That was it. I didn't care. There was no cavalry there. I just thought I'll just paint more infantry. That'll just make up for it. We've got what else have we got in here? We got Sin Dave, howdy from Texas. Hello. And
hello.
Oh yeah, Bill Roy. I think I already said hi to Bill. Tim Bix. I think they wanted me to do a song when you were frozen. Damjan's here. Hello, mate. And Boots on the Table with Dom. He says it's gone downhill this week. Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll have a look. At that.
We'll certainly see.
We can answer questions about bolt action, Napoleonics, War of the Roses, and heavy metal. So if you're into those 4 things, this is the stream for you.
This is the stream for you.
We've been promising them all week we won't lose all their subscribers and all of the channel feed. I think they're a little bit scared. I did put up a comment on our thing about, are we going to get graded for this? And
oh god, yeah.
And he said yes. So I actually genuinely think Ken's going to sit there with like a little tick box, and we're going to be like demoted or something. I don't know how it works.
Well, I'm on 1 out of 10 for technical ability so far.
Oh dear. Right. So I think we've had a couple of questions. Well, should we do Leslie's question first? From last week. And I'm just going to go back now to find it. So it was that we didn't get round to. What or from where do you get your inspiration for building a new army? I suppose that counts at any period as well. Well,
given that I only paint or seem to play bolt action, it can come from, excuse me, many places. Mainly it's because I read a lot of World War II history. It could be a film, it could be a book, it could be something that really sort of gets my interest. And then this is what I'm really liking about Dom's current project with his not French Napoleonics.
Oh, Cleveland.
Is that
Confederation of the Right,
with the white, yeah. I mean, he's properly thrown himself into that. He's really immersed in it, and I think that's what I did with my Germans. My Germans started off with just the Fallschirmjäger starter box. Then I wanted to bring them into a sort of story or a camp group, and so they're based on camp group Becker. I think was the one I settled on.
Yes,
so I started looking into the history of that, and they were involved in sort of D-Day onwards, and I think they fought the Americans on the German border. But that's what I try and arrange my my bolt action Germans around. It's good to give them a backstory rather than just have generic units slapped on a tabletop.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, yeah, it's mainly from books. So if I see something, I think it'd be really cool to recreate it on the tabletop. But as I haven't really expanded out into any other periods apart from World War II, I can't really go any further than that.
I like books as well. I mean, films and things as well. Sometimes I'm quite in favour of you know, if you just watch a good action film or a World War II film, even though it might be historically accurate, I just feel like I'm going to wind you up now, but you know, Fury.
Oh.
I do just want to play a scenario with just like a downed tank in a crossroads with 6 battalions of SS, but obviously I think Bolt Action do probably a better job of showing what will actually happen. Very, very.
Do you know
fast.
how long that game? Do you know how long that game would last?
Well, if I'm rolling for the Germans, then it might be a bit longer than you think.
Yeah, at least the ball sash mod would be a sort of realistic representation, and not just the A team in a tank. God,
Yeah.
I have.
I a guy
Every
I
time I
work
think
with,
of it,
yeah, I bought it for him because he's a World War II encyclopedia. He's not a war gamer, although he has built lots of models.
Yeah.
He reads war diaries. He finds all sorts of rare books. You can usually find him in. And I think I've lost Steve again. We can see how it's gonna be tonight. Right, let's. Here we go. Right. Oh, let's have a look at. See if I can see some of the questions. Steve will be back in a minute, I'm sure. He's going to see logs back on. So I guess this might be a reoccurring thing tonight. So yeah, basically, I get my inspiration from books, from TV and films, but also looking at other people's armies as well. And I've been looking at a lot of Carthaginian and Republican Roman armies in the last sort of few weeks, because that'll be coming up in October. But there'll be a few things about that soon. And oh, he's trying. He's trying. Oh no. Yes, Leslie. Haley probably should pedal far faster, or yeah, go and put a little bit more in the meter. Let's have a look at some of these other questions. So I'll wait for Steve to rejoin. Where are we? So Terry Head says, you're new to Napoleonics, and how do you work out who has what flags in the French line infantry? You've seen different colours as well as the tree colour, and I'm looking at Waterloo time period. It all, as far as I'm aware, and I'm no means like a proper expert, it's all to do with whether they're the 1st battalion, the 2nd battalion, or sometimes the 3rd battalion. So as I understand it, the 1st battalion will carry the tricolour and the eagle, and then the 2nd battalion and the 3rd battalion just have these kind of very run-of-the-mill flags. I think the 2nd battalion one is white, and it just has the name of the battalion and a couple of battle honours on it. I get my information from if you go on, there's a good website that sells flags called GMB Designs, and they sell them in packs, and you can often it will tell you on there what battalion they go with and what corps and what division. There's also a website which isn't always 100% accurate, but it's the Mount Saint Jean uniforms website, and it's a French guy, I believe, who's put the whole website together. It tracks all the uniforms. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but often it has the flag on there as well. So that's somewhere where I go to look for them. Hanger Flying says, you paint 15 mil, but you're thinking of picking up some black powder. How long would you estimate it takes you to paint up a 28mm black powder unit? It depends entirely on what it is. I painted up some Prussian Landwehr in about 4 days to do 24, because they've got really simple uniforms. They're kind of wearing these smocks, and they haven't got loads of cross belts. I can knock out a French battalion in greatcoats probably in just under a week. The more uniforms you have in there, the longer it takes. So anything from a week to 2 weeks if I'm doing a little bit each night. So that's yeah. Cavalry, completely different story. Cavalry will just take ages. There we go. What else have we got? Bill. Martin doesn't want Haley to come on because she would beat him. Yes, she would. When now Haley will be around when I play Ken at the end of the week. So if Ken's struggling or if I'm struggling, then she will be making an appearance. She's just sort of lurking in the background now. So, but the thing is, I'm being the British because Ken wants to be the French. So I don't know quite how that's going to turn out. I'm going to have to use the 95th rifles. I've just had a comment from over there saying don't break them. She means physically. Damjan, you've ordered some Empire troops. They should be coming in a month. The cons are living in Eastern Europe. Yes, mate. Did you decide what you were actually going to do the Empire as? Because I think we chucked out things saying maybe Averland, which I think is yellow and green. But I remember I do actually have an Empire army somewhere, but I need to dig it out. I have no idea where it is. And oh, Tim, you get your inspiration from local history. So you're building the North Somerset Yeomanry for 1938, very British Civil War. I assume that's what BBCW is, and the 33rd Foot for American War of Independence and Napoleonics. Okay. So Dom has asked that Steve has gone out of his comfort zone with Napoleonics. So what am I going to do? I've got an update coming out tomorrow, Dom, and you can have a look because I've done something. I don't know if it counts as selling out. It's not 40k, but I'm definitely outside of my normal comfort zone. So just so I'm in my comfort zone tonight, I'm painting more War of the Roses miniatures. I'm working on some mercenary Burgundian crossbowmen, and yeah, we shall see. So Dom's on, and he's on off for a beer. Brilliant. Battle Bunker. You think Steve's gonna have to watch Fury? I don't know. Maybe me saying that I didn't think it was that bad. Maybe it's just broken. I don't know. um, Leslie, Don Martin is sensible and avoids these silly challenges. He seems to have enough of his own choice to complete challenges. Just add to your stash. That is true. But I'm setting myself a bit of a challenge for October, and that's I'm going to be working on nothing but ancients because those Carthaginians that I purchased while under the influence of now I found them have been sitting there. I've completed a large chunk of my Wars of the Roses forces, so I'm challenging myself. I'm just going to do basically an Ancients October, and I'm going to try and just knock out some large units in there, and we'll see basically if I can do it. I've got a couple of elephants, 24 veterans, 24 Libyan infantry, and I've also got some skirmishers to do. So we'll see. But I'm also going to be basing those up on the.
I've watched that film once and I put it back in its case and put it away, and I vowed never to watch it ever again.
I went to the cinema to see it. I paid cinema prices to go and see that, and I didn't. I was entertained, but then you see, I get increasingly angry over films with ancients and medieval stuff. I'm not as hot on my World War II as others, so I'm not as.
I was just. I mean, I'd heard mixed things about it, and I put a day off work, and I was like, right, I'm going to go and buy it. I come home, sit down, and watch it in the afternoon. And it ended, and I was like, what have I just put myself through? What have I just endured for literally no reason whatsoever? So no, I will never watch that film ever again. Trash.
Well, it's funny you should say that. So I've got my I've got my bit, which is so someone's just talking about it here. So Nick Games said he watched the movie The King, and after that he raided his local hobby shop and ordered 100 Years War miniatures. I really didn't get on with that film. I didn't get on with that film at all. And I know that's also
Ken liked it.
I know he did. He was texting me, and I don't know. It's been long enough now that I was sort of texting him back, going, "Oh right, yeah, yeah, it's good, isn't it?" I just got increasingly frustrated in it. I think it was all to do with the Battle of Agincourt at the end, and the idea and just the representation of it, and the fact that the French Dauphin is there, and then it just frustrated me. But I know that it's not meant to be a portrayal of Henry V. It's more partly an adaptation of Shakespeare. So I know that it's not there. So I watched it, and I won't be rewatching. It's a bit like the film Alexander. Have you seen that with Colin Farrell?
No,
Right?
no, I've not seen that.
I don't know. I'm probably going to lose a few people here, but basically, I fail to see, in my opinion, how you can take one of the most interesting generals or people or characters from history and make it dull. I don't understand how. I think that's quite a feat to do that. I don't get it. The first battle scene is quite cool, and then after that, I just stopped.
What, just
I
dulls,
just
Will?
stopped caring. You know, it just became. I was sort of a challenge myself to get through. So, but
Well,
yeah.
that film, The King, after Ken recommended it, I sat down one night. I had nothing to watch, so I put Netflix on, and it came up in my recommendations. And I thought I might give this a watch. Do you know what I watched instead?
What was that?
The third Jackass film. I don't think you get two completely opposite films there, but no, I've not actually got around to watching it yet. I almost did, but instead I watched Jackass.
It is. I mean, the thing is, I quite like. I mean, I'll watch any historical film because I just quite enjoy it. It's like I watch like most fantasy films. I just quite enjoy the genre.
Yeah.
But there are some that are better. Because one that I spent a long time as a guilty sin was the King Arthur film with Clive Owen in it. You know, the one
Right.
where they're on the wall, and it's not because I actually just liked it that there was a film that was dealing with the Saxons, even though it's a really bad representation of them, and it had a really good
Yeah.
soundtrack, and there were a couple of cool fights, and I just liked Ray Winston as a knight at a round table running around, just basically going, "Come on, then, let's have it," which I thought was quite funny. So it took me a long time to sort of admit to myself that no, that's not exactly quality program. But I will say that because I didn't, after that I was like, oh, they can't make a worse one. And then I saw the King Arthur film that came out a couple of years ago with the guy from Sons of Anarchy in it, and David Beckham, and
Oh,
I. And
blimey.
I sort of tip my hand, go, that must be really nice to know that no, there's one that's, just a little bit worse, in my opinion. But
I
anyway,
think
yeah.
no, for me it's Fury. Although I did watch 15 minutes of one. It was on the other week. A Second World War film. Oh God, what was it called? Was it called War Pigs?
No, I haven't seen that.
It had oh, who was in it? One of the guys from Bros was in it.
Right.
And
started out well.
I think I think one of the Baldwins was in it as well. That was a Dolph Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren was in it, and he was playing someone from the French Foreign Legion.
Right. Right.
That's when I turned it off. I'm not sitting through that.
I can't think of any of the last. I remember the last World War II thing I watched. No, can't think of can't think of one. Oh no, that was a sort of a zombie one. That doesn't count unless you do it. There's some cool ones out there. See, we've got a couple more people. Warren Rabbit, he's in. Hello, mate.
Mate.
Phil's chatting. He says he saw the Tiger 103 at Tiger Day last year, and it was an epic machine. And then Andy Whelan's here. And Sam B saw Waterloo for the first time this week. Brilliant, best pre-modern war film. I agree. Ken will go on about that. He watched that the other day. I think he had seen it before, but yeah, that's an amazing film. But amazing what you can do when you have the whole Russian army sitting around. Oh dear. So back onto sort of models, I suppose. I'm trying to. I've taken a leaf out of your book, Steve, and I've kit bashed together effectively. Well, there's only 9 of them, but it's like a dirty dozen crossbow squad. For, for my Wars of the Roses, and some of them are in quite tactical poses. I've got a guy, they're sort of doing a clear here sort of thing. But this is quite momentous for me. When I've painted these 9, I do not have a single War of the Roses figure left to paint. they're all gone. They're all done.
Wow.
But I still haven't finished. Maybe about a third left of what I want to do. So
Jeez.
So we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm quite proud of that. So yeah, you've had a marked influence. I've used loads of different pieces.
I was when you sent the picture. I thought they looked. I did like the poses. They looked quite badass. They're like at War of the Roses Special Forces.
Yeah, that's it. They called in the Burgundians to sort shit out basically. Because I decided I need more firepower on top of what I've already got. So they've got those pave shields for their backs as well. So I'm gonna set up a like a shield wall in front of it. I'll have some arrows sticking in it. It's a shame because Claymore castings. Have you seen their miniatures? They make 100-Year War miniatures.
No, I can't.
They're
I can't
really
say I
nice.
have now.
Oh, would you remember? You know the miniatures that I won from Medieval Warrior. Yeah, they're Claymore castings.
Right, they were not. Yeah, they were nice.
They're really nice poses. Now they're a bit early for the period that I'm doing, but they make these amazing crossbowmen that are sort of lying down, taking cover behind the pavés. So they're up against them.
Right.
And I was sat there looking and going, is there a way that I can convert these miniatures to be doing that? And I think even that there was no way to actually achieve that with these. I'm sure you'd probably find a way, but I am yet to work that one out.
The last if Tim Bix is still in the comments,
he is.
He left a comment on my last kit bashing video, and it actually made me laugh out loud. I almost spat my coffee out when I was reading it. I kit bashed a medic team, and I asked for people to leave comments about what like a caption, and he made reference to a certain area of the guy's anatomy being shot off. So but it did make me laugh. Cheers, Tim.
Yeah, no, he's there. In fact, he's just commented saying, I'm assuming he's talking to the people in the comments, but he just said, "You're all so young." To which that's true. GP's just said if I could just put them in the armor and say it's Granddad's armor, and that got passed down. That is very, very true. I think there was quite a lot of that going on in the period. In fact, I think I might have actually defeated myself there. I'm pretty sure I've already done that with a couple of miniatures. I'll have to dig them out and have a look. I've done so many now that I'm kind of struggling to that's why doing these showcase videos is quite helped, getting it all out on the table in one go. So I can actually see what I need to paint. It's just unfortunately for the French Napoleonics, it's highlighted my need to paint more cavalry. That was
well, I'm actually painting French Napoleonics tonight. I'm getting the blues down on the last Fusilier company.
So you've got one company to a base, yeah?
Yeah, 6 figures to a base. So it's 4 Fusilier, 1 Grenadier, 1 company of Voltigeurs, and then the skirmishers. Oh, painting those Voltigeurs, far too much yellow on them. I don't like painting yellow.
Yeah. Are you basing the extra Voltigeurs? Are you doing those singly, or are you going to have those separate so that they can be different from the unit?
I've painted these up as so they're on 2 on a base.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about doing the rest of them as single standard Voltigeurs. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. All I know is I don't like painting their uniforms because they're beyond bright. I mean, there's greens, yellows, reds.
Well, it's funny you should say that because who's it? Damjan in the comments, because he wanted to paint his Empire army, didn't he?
Yes.
We said about in its Avaland. I mentioned it. I think it was while you were having your second round.
Having my moment,
issue.
yeah.
But that's green and yellow, isn't it?
Well, if I can find one, if you can see this, and the light's very good. That's a human Blood Bowl player, and he's from Avaland. Okay. They're called the Avaland Griffins. That's my Blood Bowl team, the Avaland Griffins. But they're painted. I painted them green, and it's green ochre, so it's sort of a dull yellow. But it's a good scheme. That's why I chose them.
Yeah. No, it's.
But yeah, the Voltigeurs very, very bright.
Yeah, they are kind of. I went to a funny enough yesterday. We've got a sort of, I don't, it's not a recreation. We've got Westow Anglo-Saxon village near us, and
All right.
so it's a good site. There's lots of recreations there. There's lots of archaeological finds, and it is an active site as well. There's a lot of work going on. But at this Anglo-Saxon site, they had the 95th Rifles reenactment group.
Oh, yeah.
So I took my daughter yesterday. Unfortunately, my wife wasn't well, so she couldn't come. Otherwise, I imagine she'd have been trying to get a photo with the rifles to wind me up. But I was listening to them, and then I was looking at their uniforms. And it just struck me how, these guys in dark green, compared to the Voltigeur with his bloody, yellow green plume, the sticking. I was thinking, going, yeah, I can sort of see like why some of these guys would be sort of picked out. That was good fun. That was good fun.
That did look good.
Bang. Yeah,
I know which uniform I prefer to be wearing. It wouldn't be the one with yellow and green all over it.
I still think. What do you reckon? Worst job, drummer boy?
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Really. Yeah.
Just zero need for being that fancy. That's why I like paint. I love painting the greatcoats because they're so easy to paint.
Yeah, I think Ken's going to hear that and he's going to swear, isn't he? Because he's got no greatcoats in that regiment that he's painting up.
No, set, so. they're all in dress uniform.
Yeah. So let's see what we've got in here. Oh wow. So we've. Tiger 131. Leslie says my showcases let Hayley take stock of my armies. That's very true. That's why I try to film them when she's not here. So, but she was here for the French one. But yeah, it does. It does let us see. But I also found that I had 2 more battalions of French than I realised as well. I thought I had 8. I've actually got 10 foot battalions. I've got 10 line battalions, 2 old guard, 7 or 8 cannons, or maybe 6. I can't remember. 2 units of cavalry, light troops, engineers, and then a lot of command bases and a lot of casualty markers for the French. So it's it's a definite thing. But then I was looking at going, I need more cavalry. That's it. That's what's missing. That's what's missing. That's what I need in my life. And then I went and got them out the box because I've got 3 boxes of them down here, and then I just looked at them all and just went, "Nah, do you know what? Ancients, this lot can wait." So what else have we got here? GP says, question for Steve. What's your OP of choice against the French? You're going to opt for. What's your opt for? Don't quite understand that one. What's your op for of choice against your French? Oh, your opponent, I guess, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I've not got an opponent yet. This is more me seeing if I can paint Napoleonics. My regular gaming opponent, I honestly don't think he's got the time or the inclination to paint up a British or a Russian or an Austrian force. I think if we did it in smaller scale, we did it in say 15 or 6, possibly.
Yeah.
But at this scale, this is more of a project just for me, just because I've always wanted a Napoleonic army. So this is more of a, like I say, more of a modeling project for me, just to prove that I can do it and I can paint something that I'm going to be in the hobby close to 30 years now. So, and I've never painted Napoleonics before until this year, so it's a bit of a test for me. Whether I actually get a game with it is another thing. I'm not quite sure.
You'll get a game with it. You have to bring it down here. We'll have to have a big old game. Get Ken to bring his stuff up, Dom to bring his not French, and
it's not French.
And I've got plenty of British, and yeah, we'll have to once we can sort of all meet up properly. Just get a big table out and it doesn't even matter. Just not even matter about time periods. Just put everything on the table and see what happens.
Yeah, I think what I want to do is just start off by building just a full brigade and just saying, yeah, I did it. I painted a Napoleonic brigade and I'm quite happy with that. And then just see where it goes from there.
You can still have a decent game for a brigade because you can always break it down. Because a brigade, I mean, to me in Black Powder, a brigade would be 3 or 4 battalions, maybe a attached battery of guns, and a commander. But if you say did one mounted unit, one thing of cannons, and 4 line battalions, then you could easily break that into 2 brigades, because you'd have 2 line battalions and a cannon, and then 2 line battalions and a cavalry unit, and there you go. You got 2 brigades quite, easily off the bat. It's once you get going, it's actually quite interesting how quickly you can start branching out and creating other units.
Well, I was amazed at that. Excuse me, that second, or the last Fusilier company I painted it in 2 days. I was absolutely made up with that, which is, considering the last one took me 9 months. I think I'm way ahead of the game on that one. But the more I paint, the more I get used to it, and the less I hate it.
I know. See, I absolutely love painting these Wars of the Roses models. You'd think, I've done nearly 300 now. You'd think I'd hate them, but because of the different poses that you can get out of these sets, but also because of the sheer volume of color that you can have across them, all the different lords, all the different liveries, I'm just not bored. There's just so much that I can do. Oh, here he is, Miniature Wargaming Warriors. Hello, Ken. He wants to know how, he says, how's it going? I think we're doing all right.
We're doing all right.
A few hitches.
A few technical niggles, shall we call it?
Yeah, it's going all right. Yeah, it's there's still people watching. So that,
which is always a bonus.
That's a plus. What else have we got here? Sam B says, what paint do you use for French? What blue are you using for? I assume you mean blue.
I use Vallejo Royal Blue, but oddly, the wash that I use for it is Coelia Green shade.
Oh.
So I don't apply it all over. I just use it just in the creases. And normally, if it was Agrax, I'd just attack the entire model with it. But what I've found is that the green shade works really well with the blue. It's not stark. It doesn't really stand out, but it does give you some good recesses and some good shadows. So yeah, my combination is Vallejo Royal Blue, followed by Citadel's Coelia Green shade.
See, I'm really unadventurous. I use I don't think it's called ultramarine blue, but it's whatever the army painter blue paint in a rattle can is, and I just spray the whole regiment, and then I hit it with the Vallejo blue shade, and then I highlight it up, and I use either magic blue, which is Vallejo Air, or I use here we go, Macragge blue from GW, and I just highlight them up. But I tend to just use whatever's about, but the base is always the rattle can. So my uniformed French I always base in blue, and my British I always base entirely in red. That's made me laugh, right? I know Ken's watching this, so we'll see. But I know he wants to paint some British because he likes painting red. But I want to see what he says. Yeah. He's got to paint all the straps and the bits down the front, because in my opinion, the British uniform is worse and harder to paint than the French.
From what I've seen, there's straps, there's cross straps, there's bits. There just seems to be loads and loads of white.
Yeah, that's it's I mean, it depends. But I have seen, and do you know what? I was chatting to Dom about it, and there was a manufacturer, and they made their metals British Napoleonics in greatcoats, because they did have them, and I cannot find them anywhere, and I want them. Because greatcoat, I just thought that'll look cool. I'll just have that unit in greatcoats, and I cannot find them anywhere. So I'm struggling. So if anyone knows, please put it in the comments, because I need a battalion of that, just to knock out. Leslie said, "Steve, do them single and mount them on sabots. You can have a sabot of open order, and then one for when they're in line." Actually, he's on about the bases, sabot basing.
All right.
So definitely. To do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking with I've just realised that the Voltigeurs, I've actually used a different blue on these. On the skirmishers, I've given them a lighter blue using Vallejo Luftwaffe blue. That was just to make them stand out as Voltigeurs, or skirmishers. But yeah, I'm still in 2 minds about the basing. I've got after the line companies are done, I've got 4 individual Voltigeurs to paint. So yeah, that might be my creative outlet.
Because of course you love your basing. Um,
Yes.
what are you going to chuck? Because I kind of my outlet for my need to kind of do diorama bases. That's how I do my Napoleonic commanders. Each one's on a large. Well, I'll show you. He's on
Oh, yeah.
he's on one of these. You know, so to give you an
Yeah.
idea. There we go. I've only got a German. There you go. So there's the size of that base. So that's a lot of room to
Oh, yeah.
do stuff with, and it doesn't. I mean, some people use smaller ones. I mean, the only thing that I find it gets in the way sometimes is when you know there's not enough room to kind of jam it all in. But I usually find a way. But you can do
No, I
some
think
wicked stuff.
yeah, I think for command sections, so generals, etc., big bases. But I'm also looking forward to doing sort of mini cannon dioramas as well.
Yeah.
I think that there'll be plenty of scope for some creativity going on there.
Which cannon set from Victrix are you looking at? Because they've got two, haven't they? They've got the 1815 one, but the other one comes with all the limbers. And I think
Yeah,
they cost the same.
Because the troops I'm doing, I want these to be based in sort of 100 days.
Yeah.
See, I'm even learning the lingo now. But I do like the set with all the limbers. It looks really good.
Yeah, it does. I got the British set. Well, no, I didn't get the British set. I was unsure of how it was going to look, so I went on eBay and found a guy just selling the sprues. So I picked it up.
Oh, right.
I got the limber, and I've never actually done anything with it. It just sits behind it, but it just looks cool on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So no, it's definitely worth like doing. So you could do some quite cool stuff. You could do like the limbers blown up. I kept on thinking about doing like an ammunition. It's called a Cassian? Is that right? And it's
yes.
like that, kind of like long thing. I thought about doing one of those blown up. If you've got, I can't believe I'm going to recommend this. You've got Netflix, yeah?
Yes.
So the BBC War and Peace that's on there has got some really, because that's it's set in 1812 in the Russian campaign, and there's some good stuff. There's some good stuff in there. There's some French in greatcoats. There's some good battle stuff in there. It's just a very long story, but it's worth watching. There's some,
that link I sent to the chat the other day of that series I've been watching on YouTube, absolutely brilliant. I watched the Russian part last night, so it was on for about an hour.
Yeah,
it was all about the invasion of Russia, and it's just done in such a really good way. It's not convoluted or overly complex. It just shows you the maps, who was where, who was leading what, and how the battles played out. Really, really good. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. For someone like me and Ken, complete Napoleonic novices, I watched the first 6 parts last week, and I knew more after that than anything I'd learned before. It was really that interesting.
Sometimes things just they just get you, and I mean, I find it. I mean, there's quite a lot on Napoleonics. Like there's quite a lot on World War II. But when you go to for other armies or other subjects, sometimes there's a real unfortunate lack of material and documentaries. So, for example, the Wars of the Roses, there isn't a great deal. There's some good overviews of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And there's one documentary. I think we've talked about it before. I think I sent you guys some pictures actually, all to do with the Battle of Towton. And also because I'm going to do Carthaginians, and I was searching for things about Hannibal, and there's some overviews of the battles, but I tend to find there isn't a great deal of other stuff. So if you can find a good documentary like the one you're talking about, then it's basically a piece of gold. And I always save it and make sure that link is saved.
Well, the other week when we were talking about Towton and other medieval battles, that I spent that week trying to just watch medieval documentaries. So I watched the one about Towton. I watched another one about the Battle of Visby.
Yeah.
There was another one as well. I can't remember what it was. Well, you're right. There's not what you call. I mean, I know if I went to YouTube and put World War II documentary, I could be there from now until I'm 90, just watching, a whole host of things. But actual medieval battles, no, there wasn't that many. But the ones I watched about Towton and Visby, yeah, especially the one about Visby was what a horrible battle that was.
Yeah. No, I know. There's certainly a lot of there's some battles on there that I've never known anything about. you know, on YouTube, and then I found out a little bit more about them. That's made me want to model them. So here's a thing for you. See what you think. So I'm
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear this when you were off, but basically in October I am just going to paint nothing but ancients, and I'm going to try and do all my
Oh
Carthaginians.
yeah, I heard you saying that. Yeah.
Now I'm going to basically call it. I'm going to say I'm doing an Ancients October, and to see if I can do it 31 days of Ancients. We'll still have some other games, but all my hobbying will be Ancients.
Yeah.
Now, would you remember the battle we were talking about? The one that me and you both liked, the Battle
Oh
of the River
yes.
Trevi.
Yeah.
Now, do I model these Carthaginians in the snow?
Ooh.
Because I sat there thinking, does that mean I've got to green stuff a lot of cloaks on them? Because or things like that. Now, I'd really want to do that, or am I limiting myself because I don't mind what bases have it, or do I just do a light sprinkling of snow across the bases? What do you elephants in the snow?
Do you know? I'm just imagining the full project done all with snow bases, and it would look pretty sweet, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, you could do some cool, and if you not getting too grim, you can have some splattered blood and mud and footprints.
Yeah.
And, there's quite a lot of opportunity there. But I don't know if I'm just maybe going a little, like if I want to do 60 models and 2 elephants in a month, if I'm maybe biting off a bit more than I can chew there. Because then I'll want to make a snowboard, and it's a bit of a slippery slope after that. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck. I'm a bit stuck because you talk. Sorry, I'm jumping back between periods, but Perry make those awesome retreat from Moscow models. So you can
Oh
have,
yes.
and there's a guy on the internet who's done a blog, and he's done a complete board and French army all based on that, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I just wish I don't know if I actually had the patience to do that, but it looks wicked.
It would look. Excuse me. It would look really unique as well. I mean, I do like ancients, but yeah, seeing them Carthaginians in the snow, that'd be pretty unique looking. I actually think that'd look really, really good.
Yeah, I'll have to have a think. Let's see what people are saying. It goes, oh, Miller's here. Hello, mate.
Miller.
I hope you're all right. That's my fellow War of the Roses Yorkist. That's good. We need more. I know there's a couple. Is it bite size? I know there's a couple of people who are doing the Lancastrians, but they don't comment on my stuff as much. I think because I'm doing the Yorkists. So, so I don't know. So we got. Leslie says he's watching a great show tonight with no fashion. Watching a great show tonight, no fashion faux pas, which is more than Ken and Dom are doing tonight. Force him to paint a battalion of Highlander Tartans. Nick Game says. I assume you mean Ken. I don't know. I think he might enjoy it in some kind of sick way. I don't know. He might really like it. I didn't.
Yeah, you can't really guess people's what some people love painting. Some people hate. Very interestingly today, Jim from Mary Hinge left a comment on one of my videos. It's the Napoleonic one.
Yeah.
And he was saying he has got no problem painting Napoleonics, but the thought of painting World War II camouflage terrifies him.
I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that. I won't say it terrifies me. It makes me angry because I know what I want it to look like, and no matter what I do, it doesn't. And I end up just chucking loads of agrax over everything and going, yeah, they're dirty. They've been in the war. It's been so long since I've painted World War II stuff. And it's your videos are the ones I shouldn't watch your videos. I mean, obviously I watch your videos because you're my mate, but and I look at them and I'm like, it just makes me. Because I've got a whole metal British paratrooper. Because I've got the 500 point starter army. God.
Oh yeah.
Ages and ages ago. Like first edition had just come out. I think that. My mate bought the Pegasus Bridge box set, and I bought the paratroopers off him, thinking, oh yeah, I'll expand it, and they're exactly the same as the ones I've got, but I haven't done anything with them. So I've got loads of the original metal paratroopers just sitting there at the moment, and I keep thinking, I should bash those out, but
I like them, but it's painting that the camouflage on their jump smocks. Oh. I think that would send me a bit funny. I mean, I know recently I've done videos about painting 2 different types of SS camouflage, and that wasn't as terrifying as I thought it would be. But yeah, that was definitely a fear conquered. Painting SS camouflage.
Yeah, my friend who's into bike action, he seems to have mastered and has a intimate knowledge of SSP.camo, which I don't think if he went on Mastermind is something that he should necessarily put as his specialist subject. But he
might get some.
He seems to know an awful lot about it. But his models look wicked. But what else have we got here? Oh, Ken's having a chat. He says he can't wait for Friday, and he's loving the French at the minute. We'll see, mate. We'll see how they do. The thing is, I'm probably going to lose. I just know I have a horrible feeling. Also, but the thing is, I'm doing that thing where I'm playing someone for the first time, and I don't necessarily want to stomp them. I feel bad. But then it is Ken. So.
But look at when Ken played Muskets and Tomahawks for the first time against Dom, and Dom said he had 10 years worth of luck in one game.
Oh, hopefully that's run out then. What have we got here? Leslie says you could use CDs for command bases. That's true, especially commander in chief bases. What else have we got? Oh, where are we? Ken's well in the chat here. He's asking for top tips for French. Warren Rabbit said, check out the Towton video on Brave Men Died Here's channel. I think I might have watched that one the other day. Is that the one where they're looking for the chapel? And basically, Richard III built a chapel on Towton, because Towton is basically the cornerstone of the Yorkist victory and how they actually managed to get their regime in. And he once Richard became king and his brother died, he started constructing a chapel there. And it's supposedly been lost for ages, but what it actually looks like is it was absorbed in the makeup of the Towton Hall, which is there now. So Towton Hall, if you imagine chapel, then suddenly gets all these bits added to it and becomes basically like a stately home. It's not a big one, so that was quite a good one. Oh, Ken's off. He says he's gonna listen to the show on Wednesday while finishing the battalion. So when you're listening to this, Ken, don't mock it. I think he's trying to finish them so he can bring them for the game. So what does anyone think? Should we give that battalion some special rules? We could give them the wavering special rule, since they're brand new troops. They start the game first break test they take. If they succeed, they've got to retake it. Baptism of fire. They've got to go.
Yeah, but everywhere. I think every war game under the sun, though, is as soon as you paint up a new unit, the next game it plays, it does crap. It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I've spent the last 2 weeks, as you guys know, painting up these samurai models. And I'm looking at their stat cards for Bushido, going, these guys are wicked, they're going to carve them up. I full on know that I'm going to play a game and I'm just going to get shot in the first turn, or there's going to be some kind of trickery that means that they can't move, and that's it, because I won't have mastered them. I think they're quite a tricksy little warband to use. I've just gone with the rule of cool and gone, look at these Ronin guys, and then I'll get stomped and then won't play it again for a while.
I remember it's like the first time I used my Puma in bolt action. Just such a cool looking vehicle. Came onto the table, and in turn 2, long range shot from a Japanese tank destroyed it.
Japanese tank destroyed something?
Yes, wow. I was highly embarrassed by this. It was.
I didn't know they did that. I thought they just added an order dice. I thought that was the whole point of Japanese stuff.
This is why I was like, yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't actually happen. But yeah, right down a country lane, annihilated, just penetrating shot straight through. And he rolled a 6, blew the thing up. I was like, this isn't good. I've not used a Puma since.
Do you know what? I used to play Flames of War. I was heavily into that. It was one of the first historical games I really got into, actually. And I was playing. I had the Germans, and I had 2 Tigers, and I had one that was basically covering the whole road. And my mate's Recon Sherman just took a pot shot at it and just blew the top off it. And what's worse is he got like he's quite old now, but he got his, at the time I think he was 12 or 13-year-old son to roll for it. So he rolled a 6, followed by a 6, followed by another 6, and then I rolled a 1 or something like that. So the chances of it happening is so unlikely that I think when they put it in the rules and said, oh, it can happen, they never thought it actually would. I proved them very wrong.
When did you play Flames of War? What version?
I played version 2 and version 3 for quite a while, and then I stopped with version 4. But when I went to Salute last year, they were giving out the new edition. Is it version? I might have got that wrong actually. I can't remember what edition. Are they on 5th now or 4th?
I don't know. The only reason I ask is that between first edition and second edition, I actually contributed some writing to the books, so there's a good chance I'm in some of your rule books.
I have got the supplement books for D-Day. I've got all of those, and I think I've got them for the Ardennes as well.
I can't really remember which ones. I know the Ostfront book, the Ostfront big campaign book. I wrote the intro to that.
Yeah.
I wrote the Brit. I was trying to be. It was just basically filler fiction. So small bits of
the stuff at the start writing, just like at the start of the chapters. You'd have that cool bit. There's a bit of artwork for each chapter, and then
Oh yeah. So I didn't actually contribute to the actual rules. Mine was just they'd give me. We need a short piece about Russians. So I'd submit my piece about Russians, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really pretty good.
I did really enjoy it, and then Phil from War Games and Noises just said it's in version 4. So I must have played version 1, version 2, skip version 3, and I've got version 4 because they just said you could trade in your rule books.
All right.
And get the new version at Salute. So I just did that, but I haven't played it yet. But I know I think Miller was like saying he's gonna, or someone else was saying that they're looking at Team Yankee, which is their World War III Cold War-y set.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
I know Lee from the Battle Bunker blog. His most recent video, him and Jamie are unboxing the latest Team Yankee starter set. So I'll be watching that tomorrow with great interest.
I can't watch those kind of things because I just want to buy them. So I can't. I all these people. There's loads of really good content out there right now, and I think it's a result of obviously people had put out loads of content in lockdown, and I think that's just carrying on because people are enjoying it. But when I see something flashes up on my feed and it's like starter set unboxing, and I don't tend to watch it straight away because I know that I will buy it, especially if I'm drinking. I definitely don't do that. That's the thing. Miller says no, I should just destroy Ken. I'll try, and then if I lose, I'll just say I was going easy on him because it was his first
going
time.
easy, yeah.
And then Leslie tipped in and said, how about special rules, freshly raised, poor shooters, and wavering? Yep. I agree. I think that might be good. And then Miller's just said to you, Steve, how's your German medic coming along? Oh, you still hear me, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Miller's just asked you how your German medic's coming on.
It's I've not painted it yet. If I get some time later this week, I'm hoping to have it done by Friday. But yeah, tell him the dinner plate is going on the base.
Right. Okay. I'm a bit concerned about what that means.
It actually means I'm gonna have to find a way of. I said I'd model a dinner plate, because the guy doesn't look as if he ought to be eating. He's kind of like going, So I said to Miller that I was going to put a dinner plate on the floor next to him.
We model some just gravy and a bit of food on there. See how it's.
I don't know how I'm going to do it. This is going to test my modelling skills to the nth degree.
That's it. So Leslie said to me that it would look amazing. I assume he means the snow army, the Carthaginian snow army.
Oh yeah.
But what would I do for the opposition? I would dunk them in water effect and have them just dripping wet. after they forded the river and paint them, put a real blue tinge on their skin so that they all look a bit frostbitten. No, I don't know. I like the idea of snow tables. I did a snow table for War Machine with my mate Andy, who oh, he's actually just dropped a comment as well. I never. I think I just. I don't know. I think I made like one section of the board, and I just lose the sort of drive to do all that fake snow.
I've only got one snow-based army. That's my Stalingrad Germans that I'm currently redoing.
Right.
But I like the way they look, and yeah, and it's quite easy to do the snow effect. But yeah, I think seeing it on like a non-World War II army will be quite funky, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's good stuff. Andy says rulebook trade-ins and online reference rulebooks are the way forward because you don't want to drop all that extra cash every few years on top of models and paints as well. I agree. I do still like having a physical rulebook though. There's something about it that I do enjoy, and if it's a smaller games company, I like supporting them. But the bigger companies are tending, as far as I can see, to make their rulebooks and stuff free. Infinity, people are into that. I know that all the rules for that are online. All the model, they're very swish army building app and website that's all free. Hordes and War Machine, they're all free now.
Yes.
Actually, I don't know if the model profiles are free. I know the rules are. I don't know if the model profiles are. I think
no.
Yeah.
I think the rules are free to download. I found my box of Crix cards the other day for third for Mark III. So I'll be using them when I finally get around to playing War Machine again.
See, that's
yeah, you find a lot of companies. You find a lot of companies doing free releases of rules because it's a way of getting new players. I do like it. I do like when companies do that. I mean, it may not be the full game. It could just be like a reference sheet or a starter or something. But yeah, it's definitely the way to go.
Some cut down rules, good. I'm really looking at Impetus for another Ancients medieval rule set. And I believe some of their rules were free, and that was Medieval Warrior's fault. You see, he did a video on why he likes Impetus. So by the end of the video, and not only did I order the book, I'd ordered 2 supplements to go with it. So that's the one. See, I think you might like that one because that's their basing system is you basically just put the whole unit on a base. And there's some very cool looking in the book. There's some lovely art. And that's sort of what I'm doing. A halfway house for my Carthaginians will be on very large bases with quite a lot of room for modelling. So I'll probably have 12 to 15 guys on a base. So we're going to see how that works out. I might hate it. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Should be in. That's why I like smaller scale as well. I mean, those 10mm ACW I've been working on, I've got them 10 to a base. 40 to a company, but I just like the way they look.
But yeah, they do. Yeah, it's a very interesting system. It's something I'm quite interested to play, and you don't need loads of models for, because if you think I've got 60 Carthaginians, right? That breaks down to 24 veterans, 24 spearmen, and 24 skirmishers. And if you put each of those in a unit of 12, that's 6 units done on a board. And that's one pack of Victrix. And then you add 2 elephants and some cavalry. But yeah, we'll see. I seem to be getting less and less, because this is a difference, isn't it? In like some big historical games, is we've talked about it before in here, and I know Dom's a big fan of figure removal because you like seeing the enemy get whittled down.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I like building up casualties because I use actual dead casualty figures. I like mounting casualties on the board. One day, my goal is for maybe a skirmish game is to have a casualty figure for every figure that I have, so I can drop a model every time. I do for Dead Man's Hand actually. I've got for 5 cowboys. I've got 5 dead cowboys that I can drop across the board.
Right.
But that's yeah.
See, that's what I liked about Black Powder, in that you just mark casualties. You're not removing figures.
Yeah.
I think that's what would appeal to me. I know there's like Dom said, you can see a unit. I mean, that's like in bolt action. You can really see the casualties mounting in a game of bolt action.
Yeah.
But I think with figures based like this, I don't know. I like the overall effect of it, and I think by constantly removing figures, I think it would detract from it somewhat.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
won't be doing that.
I was thinking about this earlier. So really, it just comes down to, because this is what I feel. I mean, Ken, when you listen to this on Wednesday, you'll see. But basically, the difference between Black Powder and these larger figures is in bolt action, and other games of that type. Each model is its own entity, right? It contributes a dice, it contributes a weapon, it does something like that. But in Black Powder, it's the unit, not
Yes.
how the unit is made up and what models you got in it is broadly irrelevant. It's the unit has statistics, so it's that mindset, and I think that's what trips people up a little bit when they start doing Napoleonics and things like that. They're like, oh, how does it make it up? And broadly, well, it doesn't matter as long as the unit covers a certain area. You could have all grenadiers and one guy on a horse. It doesn't really matter. But
no, it's the base. It's the frontage.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's once you get your head around that you say, right, it's the unit. So because I know one of my big ones was I painted up all this stuff, and then we played our first game, and it's like, what do you mean a unit? 24 men only use 3 dice to shoot with. There's 24. There's 24 of them. What's this? And that was but now I play so much of it and I love it, but that can be a bit of a shock to some people, I think. And some people they do like figure removal, and I completely get that. I just don't like painting loads of models and then having to take them off with a shovel when stuff gets killed. It's like if you used to play goblins or something like that, you spend all that time painting it, and then one round of high elf volley fire, and you're taking them. You can't get the models off quick enough. They spend more time like in the carry box for the game than they do actually on the table.
Yeah, that would be such a demotivating thing. Just seeing, I mean, I'm not a competitive player at all. So win, lose, or draw, as long as I have a good time, that's the main thing. But seeing, if I spent 6 months painting an army, I don't want to see it being removed wholesale in a couple of turns off the board.
No, I know what you mean. It's it can be pretty demoralizing. Definitely. Oh, I'm trying to paint yellow now, and it's not going well.
I'm currently painting trousers on these French infantry, so I'm going to go with 2 pairs of brown, 2 grey, and 2 white, just to break it up.
See, I like mixing in some brown or some green, and painting on some patches, like where they've had to sew it up.
There's a guy I follow on Twitter, and he does his Napoleonics like that, really raggedy and splattered in mud, and they look fantastic. They look so cool.
I prefer an on-campaign look, and I think that's for most of my models. I don't know why. It's very rare that I paint anything clean, if that's the sort of like term.
Well, these are the cleanest figures I've painted in a while. No weathering, no just bright colours, and that's why it's so different to my normal World War II fan. They're normally gunged up with mud and weathering, but these guys aren't.
Yeah, lots of agrax just like stabbed in there. It's like, there we go, done. What's going on here? Apparently Bill Royce just said the Greatcoat British figures I'm looking for were designed by Michael Percy, and they're a Kickstarter company. The company was called wasfreearmies.co.uk, and I will be going straight on that after the stream, and I will be ordering them, because I'm at the point now of my Napoleonics where I don't mind spending a little bit more. I've got all my core units, so I don't mind spending a little bit. I don't mind splashing out for a totally metal unit to mix in, because it's they've got so many others. Miller says yes, it's like paying loads of money for removing casualty markers. Yeah, pretty much. That's I don't want to think about how much money I've probably put down some of these things, but I want them to actually spend some time on the board.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
So yeah, if anyone else if anyone's got any questions, anything at all, broadly speaking, or we'll try and answer anything.
Have we had any heavy metal related questions tonight?
Someone said by heavy metal, do you mean the? I did see his comment, but by heavy metal, do you mean the armor that they're wearing? And no, I don't think we have.
Well,
I don't think we have. If Andy's
no.
watching, I know he likes. I know he likes a bit of heavy metal because I've been to festivals with him. So I know he's hiding in the comments somewhere. But I meant to. There's a band called Forlorn Hope, right? And they are a Napoleonic themed band. And they've done. I'll send you a link, right? And they're not. I actually quite enjoy them for what they are. They're a small band, so they need a bit of love. But they got a song that's just called Rifles. But they've also done a metal cover of Over the Hills and Far Away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have.
I'll have to give that a listen to.
It's not half bad at all. And they've got like a song called Baderhof. But I tell you what, the album artwork for this. In fact, let me just see if I can find it. Right, they win on out because obviously with a lot of metal albums, you agree some of the album art is some of the best art that you'll.
Yeah.
See.
I always enjoy the album art on bolt thrower albums. They're always really cool.
All right, hang on. So, where is there? I mean, basically, I know they're doing like they give out like postcards and things like in there. Right, so look, there's their album artwork. Check that out.
That is ace.
Yeah, and then look at it. So, look at that. They've just got some wicked stuff, and just for the French, look at that. I might have to get that. That's on a t-shirt.
Just for the artwork alone, I'm going to give them a listen to tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll send you a link for it. It's
sweet.
Oh wow, hang on. Loads of comments from us and just appeared. Leslie said if it doesn't come up on the search, I need to look at the Kickstarter. I assume that's for the great coats on the British. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Paul Richardson's dropped in. Hello, mate.
Hey, Paul.
Hello. And where else are we? War Games Anonymous Phil has said about Sabaton. If you're talking about metal themed bands, yeah, I like a bit of Sabaton. Actually, I like Sabaton quite a lot. And they like Haley. They send Haley. We saw them really early. I think the first time I saw them in the UK, there was only about 20 people in the crowd. It was really small. And they always seem to remember. Well, I'd like to say they remember me. They remember Haley, and they started sending her messages on her birthday for ages. Don't know if I should be, but no, they're good. There's some good songs. You know what you're getting with Sabaton. You as a band, you know, you like history. If you like a little bit of metal, then it's nothing particularly. I was about to say it's nothing offensive, but they do some songs that cut it quite close to the line with some of the subject matter. But yeah, there's some what else we got in here? That being said, I don't know if they did a whole album, the Swedish what's it, the Carolus Rex, which is a concept album all about the Swedish Empire, which I really enjoy, and it made me want to do a 30 Years War army. which is, you know, you can't say that about a lot of songs.
Oh God, no.
What else have we got in here? Nick Games has said he's just finished 2 Swedish cavalry regiments for the 30 Years War. There we go. Listening to you guys makes me speed paint, and he's been working on them this week. Wicked, mate. The 30 Years War stuff. Have you seen his stuff, Nick Games? Have you seen his 30 Years War pikemen? And I was looking at them the other day. Well, put it this way: go and look at them. Brilliant stuff, but it'll make you want to go and buy them. Again, this is the problem. Andy Whelan's asked if I would make a Sabaton army. I'd probably if I did a Swedish army, I'd maybe make a guy with a mohawk and a pair of sunglasses to look like him. And it's true. Paul Richards just said Sabaton. They have their own history channel. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Sabaton. Do you know the YouTuber? Is it Andy Nidell? He does like loads of history videos, but they teamed up with him.
Rings a bell.
So they basically make history videos. So he's doing the history behind most of their songs, and there's these they're about 10-15 minutes long, a little documentary behind every single song about what the actual history is. So like
That is really cool.
Nick Games has said the Trooper for Iron Maiden.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, I agree. Although again, that's another period. You're going to do Crimean War just for that bit. A year of painting just so I can blast that song, and then
it'll be worth it. It'll be well worth it.
And I'll tell you what as well. Iron Maiden do the song Alexander the Great, which is more historically accurate than that bloody film. And then Paul Richardson's just dropped in with a monomarth. And yeah, I do like a monomarth.
Monomarth, yes.
I do like. I'm just gonna keep on saying I do like a monomarth.
So they would definitely be the background to a game of Saga or something.
Oh, definitely. So Nick Games has then just dropped in as well. See, this is making me want to do like stuff. He's mailed Warlords Games and asked if they were going to make the Great Northern War, but not at the moment, but maybe in 3 years' time. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But that would be sort of the pike and shot period.
Yeah.
And see, this is just rolling around. So I was on the War Gamers Anonymous Discord earlier, and Miller was basically just trying to, again, he started to just get me into English Civil War, which I know I'll love and I'll do, but I don't want another period right now. But I'm weak. Oh dear. So Steve,
tell you what,
yeah, sorry, go on.
One thing I have found with painting these French Napoleonics is that last week I lost count how many times I stabbed myself in the hand with the bayonets.
Yeah.
Is this normal?
Yes, and snapping them is very normal as well. And do you know what? When I was putting them out the other day, I looked at them and I said, "Why haven't I just clipped them off for some units and gone there and fixed bayonets? Like, why not? You know."
I've not. To be fair, I've not snapped a single one yet, which I'm quite proud of that. Nothing's been broken as of yet.
It's Napoleonic lancers that I keep on stabbing myself with, and because I replaced some of the lances with brass.
Right.
Things, and that they hurt.
No, I'm just glad it's not me being completely and utterly totally clumsy.
No, there are a lot of flimsy little bits. What else have we got here? Oh, Bill Roy says Landschnecks. See, again, did you see Leon's? TCC?
Yes. Oh my.
No, I know.
That as soon as I followed that all the way through from when he first started painting. I always look forward to his updates, and if I had to paint such brightly coloured troops, they wouldn't look anywhere near as good as that. But they just work. The way he based them, they just all even though they were bright colours, there was such a good cohesiveness to them, and I was completely blown away by the army. It was just one of the best I've seen in the past 2 years.
Oh, definitely. See, there's been a series on TV quite recently called Britain's Lost Battlefields. Have you seen it? Did you see it? It was on Channel 5, I think.
I don't know.
It was really I quite enjoyed it. It was highlighting to some people, some battles. I mean, they did Bosworth for the Wars of the Roses, just in case it hasn't been hammered home enough that the Yorkists eventually lost. And Richard, anyway, we won't go into that. But they did Kett's Rebellion. Have you heard of Kett's Rebellion?
I've never heard of that. No.
See, I think it's a real shit, right? So Kett's Rebellion happened in the reign of Henry VIII. No, Edward VI. Sorry, it wasn't. Henry VIII died, and then it was in Norfolk, and basically the peasantry got fed up with the enclosure of their land by landowners, so there was no common land, and they basically rose up in rebellion behind a
All
guy
right.
called Robert Kett, who was himself a landowner but valiantly put himself forward as leader of the rebellion and tore up his own enclosures. And they basically all around. So where I live in the east, all around here sort of flocked to his banner, and they basically laid siege to Norwich, and they beat it, and they occupied Norwich, and they held these mock trials. Well, not they weren't mock trials; they were trials, and they were freemen, common trials of all the gentry. And next to this thing called the Oak of Reformation, anyway, I'm going off a little bit. This is relevant to what we were talking about. And basically, I think it was the Earl of Northampton led an army against them, and they beat him. And because he came into Norwich and they used the streets and their knowledge of it. It was like street fighting in Norwich, and then they just took all his cannons. So then they had cannons, but then the Earl of Warwick came, and they had Landsknechts with them, and
All right.
Kett's army came out of Norwich, and they pulled up like a big long battle line, and they had all their cannons, and it was Landsknechts and the English army against these rebels who were full of ex-soldiers and yeomanry, and I think the casualties were somewhat quite large,
What bad?
quite horrific. But yeah, you could do an awesome recreation of that, but you just need someone who sells lots and lots and lots of sort of yeoman figures to fill it in. But yeah, so there is this opportunity to use Landsknechts in a rebellion in Norfolk in England. I just thought that'd be quite cool. It's a long-winded way to say
That's quite possibly the most random troop placement in history. Landsknechts in Norfolk. It was like,
yeah.
How did that actually happen?
Just marching through Norfolk. Yeah, you should check the guy. He was called Robert Kett, and what happened to him after is he did get captured, and then he was obviously found guilty of high treason, and they hung him from the walls of Norwich Castle, and his brother from the Tower of Windham Abbey. So, and then loads of the other ones, obviously, they didn't last very long either. But yeah, it's
you always find that, you always find that back in those days, leading a rebellion probably wasn't good for your long-term health and safety.
Yeah, just not. And of course, at that period, with the Reformation and the changes, and yeah, it wasn't. It was just a time of upheaval. So probably, yeah. But I think they were just, yeah. Obviously, with a rebellion, they just had enough. But yeah, it's worth reading about. It's really interesting. Miller's just said I need to avoid the post, but I know what that is. Yeah, right, okay. Paul Richardson said Perry Pike could do with some health and safety warning. Yep, tell me about it. I've stabbed myself on this guy a couple of times tonight. Leslie said it's the flagstaffs when you sharpen the brass rod. Yeah, that would hurt. Paul Richardson, 1452. Landsknechts just have to be bright and gaudy colours. Don't show Ken; he'll be out buying a costume. That would be amazing. It is Halloween coming up. What can we get Ken in for Halloween? Or is that just a bit weird? I don't know. That might be a bit odd.
There's got to be something we can get for him. One thing I did notice when I put that Napoleonic video on last week.
Yeah.
There was a lot of veteran Napoleonic painters leaving comments like, "It's a slippery slope," or "Welcome to the journey." What have I got myself into here with these Napoleonics?
Yeah, it's almost like it's not a hobby; it's a lifestyle choice. You've now entered. You're now level 10. Before that, you were just like, now you've crossed the threshold. You've just entered. You've now leveled up.
I think now I've painted more than 20 figures. I'm officially on the journey or something.
That's it. It's when you find yourself going back and commenting saying sorry. The cuffs and collars on those. Second Battalion didn't have those.
That drives Ken bonkers. It's definitely.
That's it. Oh, that's it.
Wrong blue, wrong bayonet.
Andy said, Marty, am I bitter about Richard because we didn't find his body when we were at university at Leicester? So I went to university in Leicester and did archaeology, and then of course that's where they dug up Richard III 6 years after I left. And what's that car park where they found him? We've wandered past under the influence of alcohol quite a few times. So yeah, it was quite interesting to see him. I was really pleased that they found him. I never thought it was actually going to turn out positively, if you can say that in such a way. Because there's always so much. You never think they always say, oh, it's a possibility that it's him.
Yeah.
But they had so much evidence that, even when you put it all together, like, it's enough to say, yeah, we can say it's him. It's enough to convict some. There's enough evidence there to convict someone of murder. If that was at a trial, they'd go to prison. So it's enough to say it's him. Someone in the comments is now going to hate me. I know it. I'm going to get. What else he said? Paul Richardson. They might have been. They might have been at the Battle of Pinkie. Oh, I can't. Is it Pinkie Cleugh in Scotland? I've never heard of that battle. Is that bad? Pinkie Cleugh. Clue. I'm gonna have to look that up.
That's a new one on me.
Warren Rabbit said the rebels were strung up at every city entrance and left to rot. Yeah, that seems pretty standard though, doesn't it? From the time of the Romans, at least, isn't it? You just go above the city. I know. Go to the Wars of the Roses when the Duke of York got beat. He had his head hacked off, a paper crown nailed to his head. His son was head, and his best mate's head. They were above Micklegate Bar in York for a few years until his son came and took them down and replaced them with the heads of some of the people that killed them. So it was quite a.
I tell you what, during that period when it came to punishment and retribution, they were in a league of their own, really, weren't they? I mean, they did some pretty horrific stuff.
Well, going back? Did you see what they did to the Earl of Oxford? That when I did that history video, and
oh yeah,
you look at his son. It's like, oh, we cut his son's head off, and you're like, oh, that's pretty harsh. And then what did they do to him? They hung him, disemboweled him, castrated him, and burnt it in front of him. Then they burned him, and then they chopped him up. All while he was, I can't even remember if that was the exact order that they did it in. But yeah. So what we got here?
It's good to see that we've progressed as a species since then.
You hope so. You hope so.
Yeah.
Now we just do it to little models instead.
Yeah.
What do we got here? War Games Anonymous, Napoleonics for life. I agree.
Yeah.
Steve will be saying that soon. Duncan FX, he's off. He said, bravo. Carried on with just the two of you. Have a good one. Thank you very much. We hope it's been.
Cheers, Duncan. See you later, mate.
We hope you guys have enjoyed it with just the two. It's been a bit weird without Ken and Dom. Missed them.
Should we talk about basing vehicles?
I was going to ask. I saw your transport video pop up just before I started to stream, and there's this lovely vehicle-based transport on it. I wondered if you put it on there just to. I wanted to see a Photoshop of Ken's head in the back of like a half track on the base. Yeah.
He doesn't like the subject. He doesn't like the subject at all.
No. I was trying to think if there was anything I could stick on a base that would annoy him for the Napoleonic game, but I don't think there is. Although I do have a cart on the base. I do put my carts on bases. Maybe I could do that.
I base even in that transport video, the ball taxon video I did today. There's a Kubo wagon in there, and I based that as well. It's actually on a Flames of War base.
Oh yeah. See, loads of my Flames of War stuff is based. My Flames of War vehicles.
Yeah. Oh, I used to base mine as well.
Yeah, I got little Kuba wagons, and I think all my Panzers were based. I know my Tigers weren't, but I think that's because they were metal and all the other ones were plastic, and for some reason I just never based them, and I can't quite remember why. But oh well, that's something I have to have a look at. I need to get those out. I can't really tell what to do with those. I can't decide whether or not to sell them because I haven't played it for a very, very long time, but I've got all the rule books, but every time I talk about playing it, I'd just rather play something else.
The last time I played Flames of War would have been about 2005, 2006, possibly 2006. But I'm actually using all my own old Flames of War figures. Yeah. They're my 15mm chain of command project, so they're all being repainted.
Well, that's good. At least you're getting some use out of them.
Yeah.
What have we got over here? Paul Richardson said, when you can freehand British Grenadier mitre caps from the 7 Years' War, you've reached a pinnacle. I don't even want to get close to trying to do that. Bill Roy says, Martin, possibility in archaeology is just like the word ritual. Says he from Bradford University. So if you're not into, or if you don't read a lot or of archaeology stuff and that, basically if we don't know what's going on, we say it's ritual, which is really handy. It's like, why was there loads of tile at the bottom of this pit? It's ritual activity. Why are there loads of haunted? Ritual. Could it just be that it was a rubbish pit and someone threw it in it? No, it's ritual. Lots of ritual activity. It's a great word. It's just justify. It's one of those things you can say because it's ritual. You don't really have to justify it because, if you got, who knows what beliefs were, especially in like the prehistoric period.
Oh, I've got a question about black powder. Just come to mind. How do people normally base skirmishes in black powder?
I single base them.
Are they normally single bases?
Yeah, I see too. People either single base or well, actually, there's three ways. So they either single base, which is what I do. They maybe do bases of two, and you could do them hiding behind a hedge or something. Other people tend to use bases the same size as the ones that they're using. So if you're doing 40 by 40, and they just have a looser formation. So
that's an idea.
I tend to I single base because that's when I did my first set. That's what Warlord said I should do on that set, and I didn't know any better at that point. So
when I based these, this is because when I was going through the Perry's box, that's how they based the Voltigeurs, two on a base. But I'm thinking I might do the next ones on single base. If you can put them on single base, I think I prefer them on single bases.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll see. Yeah. We shall see.
Well, so Brendan and Libby, have you guys tried Osprey's Chosen Men Napoleonic rules? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Have you tried it, Steve, or have you seen anything on it?
Nope, didn't even know they existed.
I knew they existed. Oh no, I never played.
Wait, no. Someone mention them on one of the streams a couple of weeks back. I'm pretty sure someone did.
They might have done.
I just can't remember who.
I'm sure with. It's something. Yeah, I have to. There's a lot of rule sets now that I want to go and check out. The answer is
that's dangerous.
No, but I do want. I'm up for trying as many different rules as I can. What else have we got here? Warren Rabbit. He wishes they'd do it in his town. Are you on about Ket's Rebellion? Okay. I think it's probably a fair few people that wish that had happened to a few things. Miller said that he enjoyed that Forgotten Battle series. Why do they always use a historian that doesn't seem to know anything, though, especially when they're talking to an expert? I don't know. I think it's just to do with, I guess, like charismatic people. I mean, things like this. If you search, I've been on the news a few times, like doing we've done some community archaeology work, and it's really quite. I find it quite weird. And all of a sudden, even though you talk about this stuff day to day, as soon as they shove a camera in your face, all of a sudden you're like, oh god, what I'm saying actually, I can't get out of this. What I say is going to stick. So maybe it's got something to do with that. I guess it's just to do with a confidence thing, maybe. Leslie said, Martin, it's not weird. It's a very civil evening. Ken does not know enough about Napoleonics to have any pet hates yet. I don't know. He might find him. I don't know. I think he's going to enjoy playing the British more than he is the French, because I've watched his battle reports and the way he plays, and I think the British and their rules are going to speak to him more. But I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be wrong about that. Be interesting. You could always use Sabbath bases and then use them for skirmishes, Leslie says.
Yeah.
Warren Rabbit's asked an archaeological question, just said, why when we dig something up is it always high status? Were there no ordinary people back then? I think it's probably to do with when you dig something up, you want it to be high status. There were a lot of ordinary people back then. I guess it just entirely depends. I think there are a lot of sites. We certainly deal with a lot of sites that aren't high status, but they're not the ones that get that make it to the newspapers. It's or people don't go looking for that mundane site where some guy lived with his pig in his rubbish pit. That's not so often what happens. Paul says he's played Chosen Men a couple of times, very GW-esque, and he didn't really like it. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. You can't like everything, I suppose. Which, yeah, I don't know if I should say. So I don't know how Dom's going to feel about this because I was quite excited. So Saga have got that new expansion coming out, Age of Hannibal.
Oh yeah.
Right. I was quite excited about it, and I am still in a way. Have you played Saga?
No.
So the way
I've watched a couple of battle reports.
So the way I view Saga, especially when it came out, is it's exactly that. It's a saga. It's not meant to be a historical war game as such, because you have this battle board with these different basic abilities that you can activate and give people wild charges or interruption attacks. And the way I viewed it, it was always, because I bought it in the first edition, was it was meant to be like a saga about your warlord, and that's in it. So it's a bit Beowulfy in its approach to it, and it works very, very well for Dark Ages and Age of Magic. And they've just had this out, and I was really quite excited about Age of Hannibal. And I thought, oh, wicked, yeah, I like Saga. And then they've put the stuff up for pre-order, and I've clicked on it, and then I looked at the Roman army, and it, because of the way the Saga point system works, and you've got the different Republican Roman. You have Triarii, Principe.
Oh yeah.
And it's 4 Triarii, and then some Hastati, and then some skirmishers. And I was looking at it going, when I think of a Roman legion or a Roman army, I think of loads of Triarii standing together, shielded, not 4 of them to stand, And I just looked at it, and I don't know if it's if I'm gonna play Hannibal, which is what I'm gonna be doing. I don't know if I'd want to do it in that setting. I don't know. It just seemed a bit weird. I don't know if I've overthought it a little bit.
What we call it, underwhelming?
Yeah, but I didn't really think about it until I actually looked at the warband and thought. And I know that they're introducing a way of doing like a mass battle, so I'll check that out. But yeah, I was a bit like, oh, yeah, of course it is. And I don't know why I hadn't considered that, because the rules haven't changed. Nothing's changed. It's just that when I saw it, I was like, oh, there's 4 guys with big spears. They're the half guy, And then there's the Roman general, and it's like, is he really going to be charging into? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit.
No.
I don't know. What else have we got on here? And Ewan and Aaron Lowe says, anyone who plays Pike and Shot and his opinions. If you go, I know there's some people in the chat who play it. I haven't played it, but I assume it's because it's a variation on Hail Caesar and Black Powder that it follows the same system, so which I enjoy. So if it's along the same lines, then I'll go with it. And then Leslie obviously said Martin, they'll be great for Saga, and the next supplement for Infamy will be North Africa. That's true. I did see that. And then Miller's just brought up SPQR, but as Dom's here, it's not going to be as funny
to. Isn't that being rewritten though, or reproduced, or something?
Oh, you said that. I remember you went on the site, and you said it was. Is it?
Initially, I thought it had just gone. It had just sort of just gone somewhere. But no, apparently it's being re-released at some point.
Okay. Yeah, see, that was another one. So I did look at it, and I not to sort of, because obviously we've Dom's talked about this before. I know Dom, but I was all like, and then when I looked at the set, and I was like, you've got like 12 Romans. And it's like, well, I don't know. I think maybe Infamy is sort of to me personally, and I know other people they can, but it would be sort of like the smallest scale, about 100 models would be,
Yeah.
the sort of smallest I'd personally want to go. But I know other people obviously like skirmishing with all sorts. So, but I didn't know it. Yeah, is it going to be a complete rule rewrite? Do you know? Did it say? Or?
I don't know. I can't remember what it told me. But yeah, apparently it's being re-released. Maybe they've just taken the. I can imagine they may have got quite a bit of feedback from it, and possibly looking at tinkering with it slightly. I don't know. When it first came out, I remember Leon did a sort of a run through of the book, and I even said it looked quite interesting.
Yeah.
But I think when people started playing it, it wasn't the game they really thought it was going to be.
Yes, I think that was the big problem, wasn't it? I think that's what Dom said as well.
Dom wasn't happy at all with it.
No, no. Maybe I have to get.
Which is a shame because it is a shame because it. Well, like you said though, I think when it comes to ancient skirmish, I think infamy is probably the level that people were probably aiming at.
Yeah.
That's what they think ancient skirmish ideally would look like.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it's a bit strange, isn't it? How we sort of think about things like that, because really it shouldn't matter. We say quite a lot. Just paint whatever you want, but then we have these own weird little stops in our head going, I can't do that because I can't get my head around it.
I'm trying to think the last time I got a rule set where I couldn't really get my head, or didn't really get into it or get my head around it. I mean, there's been plenty of rules that we've bought over the years, just never got around to playing. I mean, one of them I'd love to. I mean, this is how long I've had it for. I got Frostgrave.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
And they just released a second, or they have just done, or they are releasing a Frostgrave second edition.
Yeah.
Because I never played Mordheim. And I know a lot of people have said it's very, very, it's sort of, for those people who needed a Mordheim fix, Frostgrave was the best place to go.
Yeah. I had a couple of friends who, I mean, I've got a Warbander, but I never actually played it. I've read the rule book, and but you needed to commit, I think, to campaign play, didn't you, to really get the benefit of the game.
Yeah. I think that's probably the last one I bought with the intention of thinking, yeah, I'm really going to get into this. I just never got around to playing it though, or trying to get friends interested in playing it.
Yeah, have you've seen Burrows and Badgers? It's basically like an animal version. Yeah,
that looks really good actually. I mean that looks something completely different.
Yeah, it certainly is. 1 second, hang on, I've got there we go. It's my little just did him as my little mouse crossbow guy.
I just love that that idea of giving forest animals weapons.
Yeah,
maybe that says more about that probably says more about my psyche than anything else, really.
Just arm them. Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, there's some lovely models in there. He's a brilliant sculptor. There's some really good games. See, I bought a game called Freebooter's Fate. Have you seen that? It's a German game.
No.
It's a German skirmish pirate game. It's got like goblins and Amazons and rat catching kind of people and Imperials. There's even like a Napoleon kind of character riding a donkey. But they're very, very size. I can't remember the name of the sculptor, but he sculpted a lot of the Reaper miniatures. They've got a very distinct style, and it's got a really interesting combat system whereby there's no dice, it's cards. But what you do, you have I have an attack of 3 and you have a defense of 2. You've got a hand of 6 cards that say different locations on the body. So you pick. So you would say, I'm going to defend you'd pick them secretly: left leg, right leg, and head. I pick what I'm attacking: head, left leg, right leg. And then at the same time we reveal them, and if you basically parry those locations that are the same.
Yeah.
So you find people trying to stab people in the feet, thinking, "Oh, they're going to protect their heads. So I'll stab him in the foot." And then that affects their movement, and it's a nice looking little skirmish game. And
That's quite.
I just never. Me and my friend have both got warbands for it, but we just don't play it. I don't know why.
Well, the other day I was listening to the Oddcast by two fat laddies,
Yeah.
and have you ever seen that game they do? What a tanker!
Yeah. My friend. Well, yeah, my friend again. He bought it last salute, and we never played it.
Well, this guy who knows Rich Clark, he's developed. He's turned the core rules from What a Tanker into a Wild West game.
Really? Right.
So it's all about you roll your dice and it's like a bit like Chain of Command. So you roll your dice and what depending on what you get, that's what actions you can perform that turn.
Right.
And yeah, he's taken the core mechanics of What a Tanker and turned it into a sort of Wild West skirmish game. Sounds really good, actually.
Oh, I'll have to take a look at that. I've got quite a lot of Wild West models, and I've got my Dead Man's Hand board, so I'll be well up.
As I found, the other day I was rooting through my bits boxes. I found these, which are my artisan cowboys,
Right.
or lawmen. So I've got four lawmen, 4 cowboys, and 4 Mexican banditos. So as a bit of a change, I'm thinking of painting them up.
Right. That's. Have you played Dead Man's Hand? Have you?
No, I've seen. I think I might watch your battle report. I do like Wild West games, though.
Again, yeah, it's one of my favourite. I can't think what to play. Oh, let's play Dead Man's Hand. It's not. It's no hassle to set up, and it's it's just good fun. I think me and Ken might be trying out these World War II rules, which have a very similar.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we might be trying that out. I think he might be bringing over his home guard.
Oh yeah, you did mention that, yeah.
So we'll try that, but it has a very similar combat system. So I really like that, where a single pistol shot can kill someone, can take a model out from a long way away if you're lucky enough to get it off.
Yeah.
And I was actually about to say, but Warren Rabbits just said it. The rules with no name were a good set. They were. I had them, and we used to play it. And I think I just found Dead Man's Hand, and I haven't played any other Wild West games since. Basically, but I need to have others.
The reason we bought these is because us going back, this would have been 2007. We both, me and my gaming buddy, both bought Legends of the Old West.
Right.
But I think he's got plans to do that in 15 or 18 mil. I think it might be 18 mil. We were going to use Peter Pig models for it. It'd just be a really quick way of having a really quick game, like Wild West skirmish.
Yeah.
And be able to paint the figures up pretty niftily as well.
So we got here. They're chatting about the cost of the Burrows and Badgers models. I think a couple of them are quite dear, but yeah, someone's already said in the comments you don't need loads, but I think then the temptation is that you do want to buy more. But I suppose it's that thing. He's an independent guy, isn't he? Like doing his own game, so you're paying to support the game as well. And in some of those situations, I don't mind paying a little bit more, I guess, for something.
No, from the models I've seen, they do look really nice models, actually.
Yeah, and then Leslie Martin, try playing it in French with my language skills. Do you having a pop? I will. Yeah. See, the thing is, right? I do like lots and lots of different rule sets, and the impetus, I think, is Spanish. So they use these abbreviations for heavy infantry and light infantry that you don't normally have. So I think light infantry is FL instead of like Li. So you've got to get used to
Oh,
these other
right.
abbreviations. So I'm going to write it on the basis. I think once you've broken that, you'll be all right.
Oh yeah, I think once you, I think that wouldn't be a problem at all.
That's it. Andy's just dropped in and said, "Whatever happened to the slightly Wild West game of Malifaux?" I think you're poking a bear there, Andy. we were into Malifaux quite heavily in its first edition, and then slowly dropped out of it as there was a bit of a power creep with all the new models that came out.
Oh, I bought one box of Malifaux figures just for something different to paint, and I just found. I mean, I don't call myself an inexperienced or novice modeler or painter, but some of the figures were just there was too many. There's loads of pieces for just like one figure.
Yeah,
a bit of a pain to put together.
I bought one just to paint. Hang on, here he is. So I keep him in earlet because it was an easier way to store him.
Ah.
I just thought I don't know what I'll do with him, but I love this model. I think he's ace. I just really
that's a great looking figure. That
I know. I can't tell you what he does in the game. We really liked it, but I think the rule it just became for me very, very convoluted very quickly. So yeah, but I think we're at the end. So
Black, yes, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. Well, I say without Ken and out Dom, but Ken will be back next week, and I think Dom's back the week after because he's back on holiday. So I hope we've entertained you, if you've liked it. But it's time for us to go. So yeah, I guess we'll see you all again soon.
We'll see you all next week. Thanks for joining us.
Take
anyway,
care, guys.
cool.
Bye.
See you now.